Hello, Senior Stoner fans. The real Senior Stoner back at you for your Carta Helix e-rig dab of the day. Hello, everybody. Today is Friday. Good morning. Well, today's topic is life. Topic is change. Change, that is right. The one thing we can count on, that things will change. It's a circular world we live in. Things move, thus they change. An amazing note is, with opportunity and hope in the world, people always want to change. People pay money to change. They protest for change. They pray for change. They get educated for change. They go to war for change. They kill people for change. They get divorced for change. Guess what? Change just happens. So guess what? You've got to be ready for it. You've got to be ready for change to be for the better, and you've got to be ready for change to be for the worse. How do we prepare for these things so we're not hit flat-footed? I think the number one thing we have to do is look at our attitude and look at how we think. I've been dealing with a gunshot level pinched nerve. Gunshot. Now it's been relentless. I don't sleep. It's throughout the night and throughout the day. It's relentless. Actually, I'm trying to schedule an injection, a nerve block, next week if I can get into the surgical center with the pain management doctor. But that's changed also. It's gotten worse. So change just happens. Everybody has change. It's life. Maybe it's the nature of time. Time moves on, so change takes place. But let's look at planning. How can you plan for change? Well, it means you have to have a contingency almost for everything. Very difficult to do. So instead of having a contingency for absolutely everything in detail, maybe we have a contingency attitude. Contingency attitude. For example, right now, I'm in a contingency plan. I've already reached out to the doctor. I've gone through the protocols I know are my contingency plan. Well, it had to reach a certain point before I enacted that plan. This morning was when it hit the point. That might be the way life is. We might have triggers. We might have mileposts, things that elicit a particular response during the change. What I'm saying is, if things changed even for the worse and it became worse than I am right now, my response would be to go further into medical doctors and to try to find a solution. The pain is something I'm really having a hard time with right now, and usually I don't. Usually I can control it. So that has changed. So how am I going to live while this is going on without going crazy? How am I going to live while this is going on without getting ornery and nasty to Mrs. Stoner? How am I going to live for Father's Day this weekend? Okay? I'm going to be accepting of the changes necessary to make that happen. They're going to have to be changes in behavior on my part. Very difficult. I like to go to the pond and sit on my chair and fish for hours. I might not be able to do that. I might have to go slow and not do it at all. I love walking sugar twice a day. I might not be able to do it right now until I get past this point. So with change that creates issues, you have to then change what you do to manage those issues. It's logical. If God forbid, your basement flooded, you would have to change your behavior and get some type of pump going to take the water out. Then you'd have to change the way you had your basement configured to make it so it wouldn't happen again. Change. Now, the basement analogy is interesting. It's easier to fix your roof when the sun is shining than when it's raining. So, unfortunately, I've caught myself late on this. I'm in the process of changing right now. My pain is getting worse. It's changing. I didn't catch it in time. So I'm a lesson. And the lesson is you must catch it right when it starts to change. And that lets you prepare. If you wait until the changing is taking place, then you're thinking on the go, and you won't be able to have as good a solution, or as good a soft spot, or as good a place to catch the change. You see, changes can take our circular living, no sharp edges, and put daggers on them. That's what's happening to me. The burning knife in my back. Gunshot, literally. So that's a change, man. And what happens when you see that type of radical change, normally you do, oh my God, I can't believe that's happened to me. Oh my God. And you end up doing nothing but whining to yourself, complaining to yourself, feeling bad for yourself. The challenge is, now what change will you have in your behavior to help you through the pain? The change I had is, instead of feeling like, oh, Mr. Strong, I don't need to call that doctor, I called him finally. I finally have succumbed. That's the change in me. I have succumbed to the pain to get treatment. That might be a change. You see, the word change scares people, I think. I think people, even though it's natural, people are afraid of change. People don't like leaving jobs. People don't like new bosses. People don't like relocating. It's change. People don't like going to new schools. It's change. Sometimes people don't even like meeting new people. It's change. Very difficult. But if you're able to change, to maneuver before it hits you, you can stay in that circular pattern. If you wait until it comes, you're going to have a right angle and you're going to have to deal with it. Try to plan ahead. Try to see the future based on what you know, and that will lay out predictability. The past is a good indicator of the future. Remember that, okay? The change that takes place can change that outcome. So the past does not have to be the predictor of the future. The past plus change equals a whole new equation for the future. Cool stuff, right? We have a lot of power. We don't really think about it. Especially people in pain. We don't think about it. We think, matter of fact, the word I would use is, we feel like we are powerless. Powerless. Well, that needs to change. That attitude needs to become, wait a second, I have power. And then you'll have a little bit more help. It's all about little steps, getting more help, being able to do the change before it smacks you in the face. Cheers, everybody. Very tasty. Remember, it happens to everybody, everywhere. Change. It's how you handle it, how you deal with the change, that makes the difference. Cheers.